Hey everyone, what's up? Let's talk about the Ardennes. It's a Belgian film. It's about two brothers, both of them who have committed crimes in the past, and the film actually starts with showing them trying to rob a house or something like that, and one of them, Dave, manages to run off and escape, while the other one, Kenneth, is captured and imprisoned. Flash forward to 4 years later, Kenneth is released from prison, and much has changed actually. Dave is trying to get his life back on track. He tries to help his brother wherever possible, like getting him a job and stuff like that, while Kenneth tries to win back his ex-girlfriend Sylvie, who, unbeknownst to him, is already in a relationship with his brother Dave, and things will get complicated. These two will find it really hard to try and tell Kenneth that things are over and people have moved on. Now that probably sounds like a fairly typical setup, and even though the film possesses some quite excellent performances, cinematography, and dialogue, under most normal circumstances I would probably pass this film up as just another one of those attempts at redemption sort of stories we have all seen a million times before, like some character tries to fix some mistakes he has done in the past and make amends to his close friends or family members or whatever. But luckily the film has several aces up its sleeve because it shifts gears more times than I was expecting, at least, because again, as I usually do, I saw this being completely oblivious to what was about to happen. I haven't seen any trailers, I haven't read any plot synopsis. The film's saving grace is that it doesn't settle for just being a simple family drama, even though I think it does a fairly decent job at that, mostly thanks to the dialogue and the acting, which really seem to be very on point. You get these characters fairly quickly, you understand them, you understand their motivations, you understand their goals, why they are behaving this way. It's really simple, and the film really never promises to be anything much more than this sort of love triangle type of story. Instead of opting to stick to a single genre, that being the drama, the film actually starts going more and more berserk once other characters are introduced into the mix, people from Kenneth's past, like his former cellmate, who is a very unhinged and very odd person who goes by the name of Steph, and his drag queen of a henchman. And these characters, by the way, contrary to the three main characters and to a lesser extent the mother character, have absolutely no depth to them whatsoever. We don't get to find out anything about them. This was one of the moments when the film was starting to confuse me a little bit, and not in a narrative sense, not from a narrative point of view. It wasn't like I didn't understand or I couldn't follow what was happening in the story. No, it was mostly tone-wise, because even though there were hints that this film has a more comedic side to it, even during its first act, like there are genuine jokes in this film. Like there's a scene, for example, when they're at the club, and Kenneth punches a guy because he gets into an argument with him about who is cooler, Jean-Claude Van Damme or some other dude. And it's no one bats an eye. No one bats an eye that he just punched this guy out cold. It's a genuine joke. It's played for laughs. Or there's another scene when two guys attack Kenneth in the car wash he and Dave are working at, and there's this fight that breaks out in the car wash, and it's very well directed. It's quite humorous. It's quite funny, and Kenneth and Dave end up losing their jobs because of this, and this was a very interesting moment because it was when the film simultaneously started getting more serious, but also more bizarre at the same time. The violence is turned up, which I didn't mind at all, but also there are a couple of things which I don't really see how they connect in the film, and again, I'm saying not on a narrative level, more on a reason level, if that makes any sense. Now, I get why the fight had to break out. We did need a plot device for Kenneth and Dave to lose their jobs, because we did need that extra like emotional distance between them, that extra tension. But yet again, like, who were those guys who attacked them? Why did they attack them? We never see them again, we never hear from them again, we don't know anything about them, we don't get to find out anything. Or there's another incident when a friend of Steph, a ranger, shows up at his ranch or farm or whatever that is, and he mentions something about his ostriches escaping from their shelter or whatever the fuck that place is where people keep ostriches. And again, like, the ostriches do show up later in the film, but again, it's not really, it doesn't really have much reason, it doesn't really like connect in any major way to the main story. I mean, I really didn't get it. If any one of you has seen this movie and Did you understand any symbolism concerning the ostriches? Please let me know. Without getting into major spoilers here, I do want to say that some people die in this film, big deal. And the very first person who dies, again, I felt it was played more for laughs. I felt the scene was handled in a very dark comedic fashion. But then I sort of felt that, okay, wait a second, there was that moment I really wasn't taking seriously, but I guess I should have been taking it more seriously because it leads to this other moment which is a lot more revealing and a lot more serious. So, man, I really didn't know how I should have felt during most of this movie. The reason why I didn't completely give up on this film while watching it is because of more boring moments, to be honest with you. During moments when the couple are two good guys in the film actually get a chance to breathe and talk to each other like normal human beings. And this probably was intentional all along. There's a very good scene in the film in which they are just at home talking to each other, and she is talking about how much she wishes to just have a normal and dull life, like just work during the day, come home, spend time with kids, watch television. And contrary to their chemistry, we have Kenneth, who is the one person in their lives who they just cannot talk to because he is unhinged, he is insane, he is a madman. He is basically incapable of being dull, he is incapable of making bad decisions, he is an agent of chaos. It's all he knows, it's all he does. And so I cared about these characters enough to be interested in seeing their story unfold to the bitter end. Do I recommend it? I think I do, because there does seem to be a pretty good film in here somewhere. It's not a bad film by any stretch of the imagination, but it's very bizarre. And this is actually the Belgian entry for the best foreign language film category for the upcoming Academy Awards. So that's saying something that might pique your interest. Thanks for watching, folks. As always, I will see you later with other reviews. Until then, stay cool, stay awesome. Goodbye.